what's still on the line here for Arizona? What's realistic? What can they still pull off?
What they can pull off is they can continue to kind of chart their way for a collision course with the LA Rams in Week 17. Now they have to take care of business against a very winnable opponent, a 3-win feisty Carolina Panthers team that I think took a step back this weekend after some good showings before that, especially from the quarterback position, Bryce Young. But this is open. I think a lot of the fan base, they opened up their gift on Christmas morning and they were disappointed by the 30-point performance from this offense. And, I kind of push back on that. Everybody wants to see Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., your 4th overall pick, get on the same page, and it's unfortunate that they didn't. Marvin Harrison Jr., just a 2-catch performance for over 30 yards, and could have dressed it up a little bit if he could have secured a touchdown pass. It was a good place, well-placed ball from Kyler Murray against Chris Gonzalez, but Gonzo made a good play on it and kept Marv out of the end zone. And his day goes from, probably pedestrian to below average. And people are like, what's going on with that duo? And the Cardinals, I think, continue to be a work in progress there. But overall, offensively, 10 of 15 on third down. They're converting in key situations there. They'd scored 3 touchdowns the previous 3 games. They scored 3 offensive touchdowns in this game, 2 via the ground from James Conner, who went over 100 yards rushing. 21 first downs. Kyler Murray's performance was average. I think that the people being upset that Kyler and Marv aren't on the same page, I understand that. And I also understand that Kyler, he was bailed out from another critical pick that was waved off, negated by a roughing the passer penalty. But 23 for 30, 224, no touchdowns, no Trey McBride in the end zone for another week. He's now has the most receptions in NFL history without a touchdown, receiving touchdown. And that's a bit disappointing, but he had 87 yards again, just another big performance from the tight end. And this defense, Hogue, has now kind of become the strength of this team. The Patriots put up 2 garbage time touchdowns. Before that, they'd kept him out of the end zone for 3 quarters, and they almost went, 4 out of the last 5 home games without surrendering a touchdown before that. They get a sack from their first-round pick and Darius Robinson, and a sack from the guy they acquired at the trade deadline. I mean, overall, this was a positive Sunday for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not about to kind of say, hey, this continues to be a negative just because we don't see the duo that we've all wanted to see succeed get on the same page. But, it was an efficient offensive performance. It was a strong defensive performance, and the Cardinals keep themselves, in position to play a big game another big game in December.
Yeah. And that's, if you guys can, take care of business at Carolina next week, of course. So, which, you should be a win for the Cardinals, but the Panthers have been feisty. Despite losing yesterday, which we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes anyway. We talked about this last week. Interesting NFC West. Rams get their big win on Thursday over the 49ers. That could really push the 49ers back. Seattle can't take care of business at home last night. Really surprisingly non-competitive. I thought. Now Geno Smith's got an injury too that he's dealing with. So the door is open there. Go to Carolina, get a win, and then we'll see. That becomes one of the bigger games of the week, probably against the Rams in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see if the NFL decides to flex that. We should hear within the next couple of days if that becomes one of the many primetimes games with a Saturday now in play in Week 17. Do they get prime time on Saturday or Sunday? But Cards, Panthers next week should push their record to 8-7. And then that big game against the Rams, and then the Cardinals, they finished the season against the San Francisco 49ers. Really only realistic option is to win out. If they beat the Rams, though, in that Week 17, you talk about the Seahawks with the Vikings coming up after they play tonight. They should, they play your Bears and then the Rams in the finale. So it comes down to if the Cardinals can take care of business this week and then win a game that they haven't been able to win all season long against, an over 500 playoff caliber team in the Rams. They have a chance to change the narrative or continue it like, hey, it was nice. They took care of business against the bad teams, but They couldn't beat the good teams. Overall progress this season, but it's not going to fight off the questions that people have about the quarterback and some of the, decision making.
Well, we'll see how it goes in Carolina next week.
We all silly like the mayor.